Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the luscious landscapes of Imola for our first stop in Italy and our second stop on the 2022 season calendar. It's the first ever Formula A Emilia Romagna Grand Prix here at the spectacular Autodromo Enzo E. Dino Ferrari. A brilliant race last time out in Austria ended in victory for fireside Sergio Arbeloa. Will anyone be able to prevent him from making it 2 race wins on the trot here today? Here's the track then. Imola has been under a number of changes over its iconic history. The present version we're taking on today features just 19 corners, 10 to the left and 9 to the right over a lap distance of 4.9 kilometers, that's just over 3 miles. Our 22 drivers and 11 teams were racing for 22 laps here this afternoon. Max Verstappen's won the previous 2 F1 races here, in our case expecting in particular the Apex and Fireside cars to be the fastest here today. But keep an eye out for the Roos machines over the course of the race, both of whom performed well in the opening round before mechanical failures saw them both off. Here's a look now then at the starting grid ahead of the race. Arbeloa on pole, the championship leader looking to extend his lead, and Alexia Pernay starts in the front row in second place. Milton Verve, reigning champion, starts in third once again, and Sophie lines up in fourth in the other fireside machine. Chloe Thomas again consistent with 5th place, and Mohamed Al Hadra improving on his spot in Austria. He starts in 6th place. It's Nathan Dugno, Thomas's teammate, just behind, 1 row back in 7th, and Liam Turton in his first top 3 performance starting in 8th. Scott Price starts 9th for Jaguar RT, and alongside him rounding out the top 10 it's Max Schmidt for Ruiz. In 11th place it's Luca Gatto, and there's the other Ruiz with Eduardo Melo just alongside. A real pattern forming here in the top 12, and it continues on. Pascal Becker for XCT starts 13th, and it's Carlos Pino on the outside of row 14. Very impressive debut for him last time out. Oscar Diaz starts in 15th, and Austin Zarate again a point scoring debut for him in Austria. He starts in 16th. Mick Walland 17th for Axel 76, and alongside him it's Lucas Favorani from Morimoto. He's the other Morimoto of Joe Daly, and the other Axel 76 of Riku Tanaka lining up on row 10. On the final row it's the 2 Thornton cars, both of whom at 5 seconds off the pace of the pole sitters. They've got a lot of work to do over the course of this race if they want any chance of good performance. Here we go then, Formula A's first trip to Imola. It's the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, the first brand new track on the schedule for 2022. The 5 red lights making their way up as Arbeloa will lead the pack to turn 1, the 2 Apex cars just next to him. Lights out, we're underway, decent start from Arbeloa, a better start though by Pernay on the right hand side, but I think Arbeloa might just get the edge here as they charge up towards turn 1. Verve just behind these 2, he's going to look to the inside of both cars here, he might go late into the corner. Pernay round the outside, into the first corner, takes the lead away. Arbeloa in second and Verve looking to counter as quickly as he can here. Chloe Thomas just behind them, back there in fourth, the top 4 pulled away already. Thomas looking to the inside of Verve, who looks to the inside of Arbeloa, but didn't quite make that move stick. El Hadre holding off Dugno behind. It's a decent gap back to Liam Turton in 8th place. Max Schmidt in 9th, and Eduardo Melo rounds up the point scoring places so far. But it's Alexia Pernay who's now in the lead of the Grand Prix. Brilliant start from the Frenchwoman here. Of course, think back to her torrid start she had on the opening lap in Austria. Things have really turned around for her since then. Of course, Verve looking to get to trying to close back up to Arbeloa. Pernay then shows the way by about 6/10 against the Mexican just behind. She makes her way through that 3rd sector now. But a very exciting start there. Drivers going for, looking around trying to make moves. But in the end, most of those moves fail and come to fruition. But the crucial one is that Pernay took the lead away from Arbeloa on the first lap. As he comes through the last corner here to complete that first lap, she's still up front. A brilliant start for the Apex team who run 1st and 3rd here at the end of lap 1. Arbeloa back there in 2nd place, Verve 3rd, Chloe Thomas in 4th. Now keep an eye on the slipstream here as they make their way down towards turn 1. Everyone's quite split up at this point in the race, so it might not take much effect just yet, especially these front runners. Riku Tanaka trying to make a move on Joe Daly just in front in the Morimoto. The two Thornton cars holding off. That's Luca Gatto there, so I'm not sure what's happened to the Jaguar RT pair, but they're at the back of the pack. So they've got some work to do in this Grand Prix. They've got a car that's plenty good enough. They of course scored points last time out. As you see, Gatto already making a move trying to get past both the Thornton machines as Pernay leads them back through. Ars Mikhailovic going a bit wide there in defending. So Connor Chapman is there with him. And Scott Price just behind both those cars. And Luca Gatto pulling away from them now in front. Luca Gatto now slowing up here. The Jaguar RT car may have a problem of some kind. He's pulling over. I'm not sure. That looks like it'll be the end of the race for him. And once again, a car out of the Grand Prix early on. Unsure as to whether it was reliability. Last time it was a puncture for Lucas Favorani. Has the same issue struck for Jaguar RT and Luca Gatto, but regardless of what it is, he's out of the race. Smoke out the back of the Ruiz. And that Ferrari power unit has definitely seen better days. And in 5 laps, we've already seen 2 drivers who look like they're going to be retiring from the Grand Prix. But will Schmidt make it back to the pit lane? Will he? Or will he have to stay out and try and find a safe place to stop the car? Regardless, he's out. I doubt I can see him continuing on this Grand Prix. Artem Mikhailowicz, meanwhile, defending from Scott Price, who's still struggling with his Thornton pair. Despite being all on their own at the back in the first race, it's looking like they can still hold their own with each other and other drivers. Oh, contact! And Max Schmidt there didn't get out of the way, and around goes Mikhailowicz. At the exit of the second corner, Schmidt pulls over to the side. A bit too late to avoid that collision happening. Mikhailowicz around, he's recovered the car. So Schmidt out of the race then. And the reigning Formula B champion now leaves himself with a lot of work to do to even catch back up to his teammate, as Scott Price has now finally found his way through. Austin Zarate taking on Oscar Diaz here around the outside, which means Carlos Pino is one of the points at the moment. Zarate around the outside into turn 1. That's a brilliant move there from the Abbey Academy driver. These 2 drivers that Abbey have recruited, the Abbey Grand Prix team, at least their senior management has recruited, are really holding their own these opening round and a half of Formula A. And Arbeloa won the race. Now El Hadre still defending from Degnaud, who gets the door shut on him through Aqua Minerali once again. He's defending the inside, going into that last chicane. And there's Verve once again, third. Tanaka going for the exact same thing that Degnaud's been trying, and to no avail as expected. There's Oscar Diaz still trying to keep pace with Austin Zarate, but might just instead find Mick Polan closing in on him instead. Degnaud pulling alongside here. El Hadre should be able to cover him off into the first corner. And indeed he does. Still a very close battle between these two. Very, very entertaining. And El Hadre will want to stay out of trouble here. Of course, the only driver... Always Degnaud looks inside into the Villeneuve chicane, and he gets away with it. Moves Nathan Degnaud back up into the 6th spot. Brilliant move there, into the chicane. Zarate going for the same move that Degnaud tried into the chicane a lap ago. Unable to make it past Pascal Becker. Zarate's charge continues. And that is Mick Polan back there in 14th, so he's closing in. And no one's closing on Alexia Pern at the moment. He's got 9 more laps to go. Zarate now going to the inside as they head towards turn 1. Becker shuts the door once again, but this time it'll be nice and close. Going into the chicane. As long as he doesn't go for anything erratic going into the next corner. It should be okay. Becker holding on to the spot. Zarate right there behind him. The Indonesian not giving up. And that's going to allow Oscar Diaz to close back in. And Mick Polan not too, as I keep saying, not too far behind either. That gap closing bit by bit each time. Zarate now back to the outside, and now looks to the inside going to the chicane. He's got his nose in. Becker's going to have to give him the room. Becker slams the door, gave him the room, went around the outside, forced Zarate to brake, and now he falls back, and there's even Stevens between these guys again. About the same sort of gap between everyone at this stage. Oh, but to no avail. And now here goes Zarate looking to the inside, and there he goes! Around the outside, can he seal the deal? Yes, he can! Move Austin Zarate up to P11. Brilliant battle there. And a great scrap between the esteemed veteran and the young rookie. And only his 2nd Formula A start, having never driven one of these cars in anger. Price now looking to pass Tanaka. He's done the job. And could he try and get a double overtake on Favorani, sorry, as he charged through the next corner. No, he can't make it work that time. He's going to go for it into the Villeneuve chicane. Not quite. Perne again improves her fastest lap. She's got 6 more laps until she wins this thing. There's your position changes. Perne's gained 1. Expensive Arbeloa on the start. Chloe Thomas also gained 1 the same way off Sophie Sevilla. Nathan Vigneault and Manuel Hadre battled for a good few laps before Degnaud came out on top. Eduardo Melo and Carlos Pino both have been benefited off the opening lap. Oh, there's Mick Polan, who's been craned away and he's out of the race. A transmission issue and put Polan out. Perne now comes through to start her final lap of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's been a brilliant race for her today. I do believe Arbeloa has gained a bit of time, but Verve is closing as well. Could we see for the 2nd race in a row Verve taking the 2nd spot of a fireside car. He did it to Sophie Sevilla in Austria. Could he repeat the feat against Arbeloa and bring home an Apex 1-2? Tamaka's the next car in front. And Carlos Pino making his way past Artem Mikhailowicz. Pino just over a lap away from another point in the championship. Perne now, just a sector away from winning for the first time in 2022 as she comes through the chicane and makes her way down towards those final two left-handers. She opened last season with victory, and she followed that up with a second win in Bahrain. She didn't win the opener this season, but she's going to get the win today. She makes her way back towards the pit wall and towards the line. Alexia Perne comes through to win the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Her first win of the season, sets the fastest lap in the process. Arbeloa will come through in second place. They didn't quite catch Tanaka and Favorani, and Verve will finish in third, which means that Arbeloa should hold on to the lead of the championship. Chloe Thomas home for fourth. Sophie Sevilla in fifth. Nathan Gagnon really managed to get away from Mohamed El Hadri after that early scrabble, and he rounds the final corner now to take sixth place. So, excuse me, taking sixth the first time, finished fifth in the first round. He's going to take sixth place today, so a decent start to his career with Abbey Grand Prix, but he'll want to be challenging a bit more next week. Mohamed El Hadri crosses the line for seventh. He'll be followed home by Liam Turton and the other Dalton Moore, so double points finish for them today. Very satisfying, and I have no doubt. Eduardo Melo comes home for the points he deserved last week. Retired from the race like in the late stage in Austria. Comes through to score points today. And Carlos Pino will take the final championship point of the race. He comes home in 10th. Alexia Perne then on top here today. Let's have a look then at our final classification from today's very exciting Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Alexia Perne then takes a dominant first victory of the season. Sergio Arbeloa second, and Verve once again on the podium in third place. Chloe Thomas in fourth, and Sophie Sevilla rounds out the top five. Three retirees in this race: Mick Walland, Max Schmidt and Luca Gatto, so very unfortunate for those three drivers. We're hoping for them to bounce back. Another failure for Roos over the course of this Grand Prix, so very unfortunate. But Eduardo Melo scores 2 points for them, so that's a good start to their season. Arbeloa still leads the championship then, but he's got Alexia Perne just 6 points back, and it's 10 points between Verve and Arbeloa up front. Sophie Sevilla in fourth place, and Mohamed El Hadri now fifth in the championship. He's doing very well so in these opening two rounds. Apex now take over the lead of the championship in the constructors with Fireside in second, and Abbey Grand Prix will need to do their homework if they want to close that 40-point gap to second place in the next round in Australia.